There is a real self and there is a false self. The real self is how I am born, because when I am born, there is no name, no identity, no idea who I am according to the world level. So there is just simple presence, innocence presence, and ease, and bliss, and joy. A child is born with all of these qualities. But as the child starts developing further, after the age 3 and going further, a, a false self start taking place. I'm just saying it false, but it is also needed in life. Like I am given a name by someone. I'm giving education by someone. Even all of the things which I know given by some books, by some university, by some people outside, or through my name and through my education, I am getting some experiences. These are also part of false self according to yoga. I really need to know who I am without all of this.
Hey everyone, and welcome to another episode of Going Out, Looking In, the podcast about the big questions of life, personal growth, and spirituality. My name is Maxi, I'm your host, and today we are talking about one of my favorite subjects of all time, and that is yoga. Yeah. As you know, yoga has played a significant role in my personal journey and path. It has brought so much healing and personal development and opportunities into my life that, I cannot really find words to match the significance that the practice of yoga and everything that comes with had on my life. So that being said, I was really truly looking for a guest who I can talk to around the depth and the significance of yoga, and that obviously goes way beyond the physical, so the Hatha yoga part of yoga, and really includes the holistic way of all 5 paths of yoga. And I'm very happy and glad to have found such a person, and that is Deep Kumar. Deep is an Indian yoga teacher, practitioner, author, and somebody who is truly living the yogic life. And I'm jumping a little bit ahead here. This was and is one of the biggest takeaways from that conversation, just the energy, and I'm just inviting you to tune into this yourself. The energy emanating from Deep's presence in this conversation, for example, is to me an inspiration and a reflection of what yoga can introduce to our lives, where it can take us, how it can affect our aura, our charisma, our happiness. I think that's all I'm going to say about this. And let's just, I invite you to see for yourself what comes across when you listen to Deep and when you see him, where we talk about seeing him. And the video of this episode, we had some technical difficulties, and I want to just take a quick brief moment, not to go on about it too much. I tried my utmost best like I do with every episode, but sometimes, the internet and all that kind of stuff gets in the way, and Deep was at the time of the recording in Malaysia, I'm in Germany, and so there were some connectivity issues, and the video doesn't run all the way through the video, it doesn't run through smoothly. So apologies for that. The audio is spot on. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed nevertheless. And yeah, with that out of the way, I just wanted to get quickly into what we talked about, because it was a lot as always, but mainly, and this is also something that I want to emphasize again, yoga is so much more than doing asanas and having, practicing yoga in the way of like postures. It's much more than that. And so we really delved deep into the different paths of yoga, the different parts of yoga, how they are interconnected with each other, how they relate to each other, how they complement each other, and how they affect the growth and the evolution that we as yogis go on when practicing yoga. Then we talked about samskaras, such a beautiful topic, as you have seen and heard from Michael Singer, samskaras are such a significant part of our healing and our journey as people who are seekers and on the path of liberating ourselves. Samskaras are, those patterns, preferences, and things that we store inside of us that block our energy flow. And we go very deep into why that is, how they are created, and how we can release them so we can heal and heighten our state. And moreover, we just talked about happiness, we talked about suffering and how they are related to each other, and how we can live a pure life with the help of yoga. How can yoga really help us to live a fulfilled life? What is the purpose of yoga, and how does it affect realizing and recognizing and remembering? That's the important word here, remembering who we are. How can yoga help us do that? So those are just some things that we talked about. I just really appreciate Deep, because he is somebody who really combines the very traditional approach of yoga with the new and scientific Western science way of yoga, and all of the, newfound and scientific evidence of the benefits of postures and well-being that are basically current and present right now. So he's effortlessly combining those two schools with each other. That's the foundation of Yoga New Vision, his company. And I can just really encourage you, if you ever wanted to get in touch with yoga, to check out Deep's stuff. He's teaching in Bali, he's teaching in Malaysia. I actually think that he's even teaching elsewhere. And he is just somebody who is having an unmatched understanding for the depth of yogic philosophy, but also really the physiological aspect of yoga. Like when you see videos of him explaining downward facing dog, really basics, or just standing on your 2 feet. Basics, how to stand on your feet. How much goes into that, and how much we can, as people who are maybe slightly disconnected from our own bodies, how that affects our health, and how yoga can help us to reconnect to the body and all of those things. These are all things that Deep is really embodying and talking and teaching about so much. And so I can really recommend to check out his stuff. All the show notes, again, all the links are in the show notes. And yeah, I just wanted to say thank you all for being here as always. And also consider subscribing and liking the comments, the contents of the podcast. It really helps us. And also, very briefly, I wanted to turn you on to a little something and ask for your input. And that is because I am going to be traveling Ireland, the UK, and the US very soon. and I will be going on a podcast tour. So my intention for this trip, besides really being initiated into manhood with the work of Sacred Sons in LA for the Convergence, I really want to do as many interviews, in-person interviews with inspiring people that I can to elevate the podcast and really go for the next level. So, with that being said, I would love to hear your recommendations on guests and potential people that I can interview. So they can obviously be everywhere, anywhere in the world, preferably in the UK, in the US, or in England, because that's where I will be. And then I think in-person interviews have a whole different energy, so send them my way, please. No matter who it is, let's reach for the stars. Let's just ask ask whoever you find interesting, and I'll make sure to check out your suggestions, and whoever resonates with me, I'll contact them, and let's see what beautiful co-creations can arise from that. All right, my friends, with that being said, I bring you so much love and hopefully new insights about yoga with this episode, and Deep Kumar. So basically, your work has been recommended to me by Julia, and since then it's been a couple of, maybe even more than a year now. I've been following you and your journey and everything that you are doing with Yoga New Vision, and also participated in some of your live calls on Instagram, and even asked some questions there. And while having not seen you in person, I feel like I've come across your way of teaching, and I think it's very, and I feel like it is very, it's different, and it's also more the kind of style of yoga holistically that I really resonate with. And so I'm very much looking forward to this conversation, to really dive deep into what that is, because also for me as a Westerner, we throw around the word yoga a lot, and I guess a lot of people only think of asanas when they hear the word yoga. And so I know that you really embody and live the life of a yogi, and so I really look forward to exploring these topics with you, Deep.
Thank you, Maxi. I am too, and I'm sure that it's going to be very insightful conversation and dialogue, which can be helpful for many to understand yoga, and especially through yoga, their own self and their life.
Beautiful. So, with that being said, I would love to have you share a little bit of the context that we need to understand in order to understand you, who is sitting here right now. So how did you become the person and the teacher that you are today, including, the journey of, yourself and yoga, essentially?
It's like that, Maxi, that as born in India and Indian culture and tradition, yoga enters into my life from very early age. But the form of yoga was not in the form of asana. In India, there is a yoga, we call it Bhakti Yoga. Bhakti Yoga means yoga of devotion, yoga of love, yoga of life. So I used to go to temple, we were chanting mantras, we were doing kirtans, we were like, let's say that in a beautiful way, that we were practicing gratitude towards the life. And that happened in my age when I was just 10 or 11. So that entered into my life. So that was start forming my inner that Bhakti Yoga is all about that you have to have a beautiful gratitude towards the gift of life. So you chant, you dance, you give thanks to the rising sun, you give thanks to the water, give thanks to the trees. So it's a practice of thankfulness. So that started at the age of 10, 10 or 11 somewhere. So going into that, and that age is also a very early age when you are not entangled with so many problems. And it's a time in India when there was no phone, there was no much things, and we were living in a village and natural atmosphere with the trees, with the birds. So it became a joyful part of my life to just give thanks to the air, give thanks to the cloud, and the life was going so beautifully in that bhakti yoga. But when I enter into my age, when you enter into that teenage and then you cross that and you reach about age of 18 and 19, so the life start hitting me up. And then I'm saying this gratitude is like it is there as a background, but life is challenging and life has its own problems. And life is now hitting hard to what to do, how I can keep myself centered because this gratitude is there, but right now seeing something else is needed for me. So then Hatha Yoga came into my life, the postures, like working on the body and working on every part of you. And Hatha Yoga helped me to bring more into the present moment, stay present. Hatha Yoga helped me in that. And when you stay present, you can deal with the challenges very well. So Hatha Yoga is a yoga of posture, yoga of breathing. Then I start practicing that. It happened in the age of near about 17 or 16 or 17 somewhere. And then through that, I was getting really strength. When the body is getting strong, your posture is really getting strong. You are taking care of your breath. So you are actually not allowing your mind to just take you. You are really working on your mind and keeping it centered. So that is Hatha Yoga. So then Hatha Yoga helped me a lot in that challenging time and it became part of my daily routine. Even now, I do my yoga posture, my breathing, my meditation practice every morning because it helped me a lot. And then when I see the benefit of that and it enhanced my gratitude towards life. And then going through that, when I see that how it has helped me, how it has helped my body in that moment when you can just, be lethargic and lie down and start complaining about the life, rather than Hatha Yoga actually helped me to strengthen my body and all that energy which could go to negativity, actually it allowed me to strengthen my body and stay positive. And slowly, I'm not saying challenges were gone, but I was able to handle the challenges very well. So then it started growing within me and somehow it becomes sharing. Like I start sharing with the people, not as a teacher, just because it has helped me a lot. And I know it will help the another person also. So when I start sharing with the people, they start calling me a teacher. And I start feeling that I'm really enjoying it. And if they are saying me teacher, I know I'm just sharing because it has helped me. But then slowly, my life entered into this direction. Then many people came. They started many things with me. I started moving forward and start enjoying it. And it is the enjoyment of yoga that actually going through yoga new vision and through me all over the world right now. And I call it my karma yoga. Karma yoga means a yoga of service. So the sharing took the part as a service, and then it part become of my, the way of sharing, and the same time that I can take care of my life also very well. through all the aspect, which as a yoga, I don't call it a business. It's a service
Mm.
oriented science. But nowadays, yoga is entering into a business way, which is also very good. I will say that once yoga is coming into that way, it will flourish more. And there are the people who can dedicate their life to it, to serve others, and through that
Mhm.
they can take care of themselves. So it's a service oriented practice. So that is me right now sitting in front of you, coming from Bhakti Yoga, entering into Hatha Yoga,
Mhm.
then taking as a Karma Yoga, service, and bringing it forward.
Yeah, beautiful. Beautiful. Thank you so much for sharing. This is very much going into a direction where I was also mm, was very curious to go into, because now we are already, you've been introducing three paths of yoga already within your own journey. And I would love to have you maybe share also some more of, and this is actually was one of the questions I asked you in one of the live Instagram videos once, because my journey has been a lot about meditation. So, Raja Yoga and Nana Yoga as well, understanding a lot of things in the mind and knowing a lot of things, reading, studying, Bhagavad Gita and Yoga Sutras, and reading the ancient texts and the Upanishads and the Vedas. And so I was just very curious, now that we are already introducing the five paths of yoga, if you can share a little bit more in detail what those different aspects of yoga include, and maybe also how they are interconnected.
It's a really good question, Maxi. As I will say that when we go to the top of the mountain, the top is one, but there are many paths to reach to that top. So, if a person who is looking to know themselves or go deeper into with themselves, every human being has a type. Let's say some people are more body oriented, some people are more thought oriented, some people are more emotion oriented, and some people are more service oriented. So every person has a type. So there are people who love to work out. They want to do something, with the body. They want to use it in certain way. They love to do the breathing. So for those people who are this type, for them the path is Hatha Yoga. There are people who are not really want to use body much. They just want a little bit and that's good enough. Or they don't want to do it anything at all. We just want to have a morning walk. But they love to enter into the thought process. They love talk. They love to understand these different system of thought. And they are very much fascinated by the thought process. For for them is Janana Yoga. So through thoughts, they can come to know themselves, their reality, their inner. There are another people who have nothing to do with the thought much. They are very emotional. So for them, emotions are playing big role. For those kind of person, bhakti yoga, the yoga of emotions. So through the emotion, they can know themselves. They can enter into a deeper realm of themselves and they can know this life force, this life energy, even through their emotions. And there are people who love to serve others. That is their passion, to help others. For them is karma yoga. And there are the people who have nothing to do with any of these. They are like the seeds. They just want to go into themselves directly. They don't want to go into any of the direction of that. They are neither interested in thought or in emotion or all of that. So directly Raja Yoga, close your eyes and just go to the seed, become the seed. So yogi know it from long time that every person has its own type and yoga has to be created for every person. And yoga means uniting the forces which within me, creating conflict, creating chaos, and not allowing me to really see this life as a gift and are, are a hindrance for me to enjoy this life properly, to live this life. So all type of yoga work on one thing: how to bring peace, how to bring joy, how to bring ease, how to bring love within you. But ways are different according to different people.
Yeah. So so beautiful. I was wondering, is there a is there is it is there any sort of mm, ranking, or like a deeper yoga, or a easier or a harder yoga, or is it all basically on one level, and you can, like you say, depending on your type, choose which kind of yoga you want to pursue more in depth, and then really, use it to go to union, merger?
Actually, it's all, there is no hierarchy. Only thing is like what suits you the best. What do you feel really connecting with yourself? And there could be a person, actually, these all can be connected in one. That is also the possibility. Like for me, I explored all of them and I feel like they are all part of me and I can enjoy whichever direction I want. And every path is different, but they are leading to the same direction. So I entered with all these paths and I found that all paths actually enter into one state. And that is, if I have to call in simple language, they bring you present. They bring you present. And it's like that. You don't have any preference, then you can enjoy all. Or there is a possibility you enter through one and you find it out, oh my God, there's a lot to explore here. So there are people who can enjoy Hatha Yoga also, same time Raja Yoga also, and these two can actually done together also. Like if we will see it, Hatha Yoga is a way of the body to bring your attention back to the body because our mind is going into so many directions. So when we are doing yoga posture, taking care of our joint, taking care of our muscle, taking care of our breath, actually it cuts the mind from all the thought process and it bring it into present. And that is the ground of Raja Yoga. And in Raja Yoga, if you are taking a straight posture, lifting your heart up, closing your eyes, actually that sitting posture is part of Hatha Yoga. So they goes together. And then right now we are talking. We are really exploring the subject. This is Jnana Yoga going on. And we are doing this so people can get benefit from the talk. Karma Yoga is also happening. And if you and me right now feel gratitude for this talk, Bhakti Yoga is also going on. All yoga is right now present. But sometimes person can be confused with so many. So that's why we say you go with one. And actually, if you go with one, people start with Hatha Yoga and they start feeling gratitude. They enter into bhakti. They start meditating. So they feel Raja Yoga. And then they're serving other people. So going through one is always easier. Then you will see slowly, slowly, this all will take their part in the life.
Yeah. Yeah, it's actually really fascinating, the journey. And I mean, yeah, there's so many roads leading to the mountain. And when I'm looking at my own journey, and for example with Julia, it always has been very different because like I'm not that much into asanas. Just also from the basically the starting point of where I am with my body, it didn't come as natural as for her. And so she was like she was straight away connecting with physical yoga, with hatha yoga straight away. And for me, it was the most important thing to finally get any sort of relationship with my mind, because I was unbelievably heavy on thinking and relying on my mind to, yeah, lead me through life. So Raja Yoga was, and meditation was just so, it did so much for me over the course of the last couple of years. And through that, I was then introduced to Jnana Yoga, and reading a lot of text and understanding cognitively. And I feel like now I'm really progressing into Bhakti Yoga. So I'm really connecting to my heart, and I'm developing a deep, deep, deep relationship to my emotions. And I feel like, wow, there's like a whole new world being opening up, for me. So out of, yeah, very personal curiosity, I would love to maybe go a little bit deeper into Bhakti Yoga as well, and how you would practice Bhakti Yoga. What kind of ways are there to deepen the relationship with your emotions in a yogic way?
In whole the yogic culture, yogic history, actually Bhakti Yoga is the most, if I have to say one word, juiciest path. It is the path of celebration. It is the path of love. It is the path of joy. It is the path of bliss. Actually, all this person is practicing all of this: bliss, joy, celebration, gratitude. So these are the practices of Bhakti Yoga. It starts with a very beautiful way. Let's say a person wake up in the morning and feel alive. That thank you to the universe that I'm alive. So it starts from there. You don't need to go anywhere. Open your eyes and practice of Bhakti Yoga start. And I love to advise my students sometime, if you are going to your work, let's say going from house to your work to teach yoga or to your office, on every walk, if you're taking towards your car, let's say 20 steps, say thank you to the 20 steps. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Then reach to the car, then at least do 100 steps in a day, thank you steps. Like, thank you that I'm able to touch the ground, I'm able to walk. So this is the practice of Bhakti Yoga. We are eating the food. Just before eating, taking 2 minutes, looking at it and saying thank you to my food. Gratitude to the food, gratitude to the who made it, gratitude from where it come. So giving this gratitude, you are entering into joy, because gratitude brings joy to the inside. So whenever a person get a chance from the work or free time, look at the sun and just thank you to the sun. Yogi do it a lot. That's why sun salutation take place in yoga. Salutation to the sun. It's like a gratitude to the sun. Because of sun, I am alive, and I am able to see this life. If there is no sun, then the life would have been very different, or maybe would not have even existed. So to the sun, if drinking water, so becoming conscious about that and thanking the water before drinking. Or sometimes just like on the music and dance in gratitude to the life. That thank you, and dance, full on dance. That dance in a thankfulness to the existence is Bhakti Yoga, is Kirtan. So wherever a chance come to thank the life, giving the thank you and Bhakti Yoga is into the practice.
Yeah, I resonate with that so much. It's actually so funny, Deep. Whenever I hear you speak, also, I'm just like, and this is what yoga did for me as well on all levels. Like whenever I read the teachings, whenever I hear people talk about yoga who really understand it, it's just like I, I don't know where it's coming from, but in the inside, I feel like it's true. I don't know. I just know this is like how I want to be living my life. Like this is just so deep within me, like resonating. I'm just like, I know this gratitude is the way for me to be in this world. Like it just makes me a better human being every single day in every interaction. It's just, and it's so simple. Like it's the tiny things. It's not like transcending into samadhi all the time. It's just like, can I go out and just like treat people in a good way and be grateful for, like you say, every step. Like this is like mundane things, you as you would maybe think for looking from the outside, but it's all of those things like piled up as a foundation of life is for me just like feeling so, it's elevating you into a state where you can be of a whole new presence, and you can vibrate at a much higher frequency when you really, yeah, in everyday life do those quote unquote simple things. Being grateful for the food, it changed my whole relationship to food, I have to say. I feel like my body is like nourished in a different way when I'm before entering, and it's coming from the time that I spent in a monastery. It was completely normal to like quickly pause, say thank you for the food, reminding where did it come from, why do I consume this, to nurture my body to pursue the way of Buddha, or to pursue the way of whatever religion, for example, you believe in, or you are, yeah, devoting yourself to. So you're just like I don't know, you're living from that place. It goes so deep. And this is, I don't know, it's really resonates so beautiful. I don't know, I just wanted to say that.
I totally understand. It's a way of living. It's a way of living, and through your way of living, a person transcend the conflict, the misery, the tension, and enter into love, beauty, and truth. So this is like transforming their misery and transforming all that which is troubling in a person, and finding their meaning, finding their purpose, and living this life well lived life.
With looking at the mandala behind you, and like it's, you know, it's having a center, and we were talking about the different paths of yoga and where they basically go to, and you talked about some seed, you know, returning to the seed, finding the seed. So what is, I guess, what is at the core then, yoga, and what is the seed you were talking about?
Okay, so I'm dividing right now just for a reason to understand. There is no division, just reason to understand. I'm dividing a human being. There is a real self and there is a false self. The real self is how I am born. Because when I am born, there is no name, no identity, no idea who I am according to the world level. So there is just simple presence, innocence presence, and ease and bliss and joy. A child is born with all of these qualities.
Mm-hmm.
But as the child starts developing further, after the age 3 and going further, a, a false self start taking place. I'm just saying it false, but it is also needed in life. Like I am given a name by someone. I'm giving education by someone. Even all of the things which I know given by some books, by some university, by some people outside, or through my name and through my education, I am getting some experiences. These are also part of
Mm-hmm.
false self according to you. I really need to know who I am without all of this. That innocence presents
Yeah.
how I am born, without a name, without a nation, without a country, without any education, that pure silence, that pure presence, that pure innocence is my reality, and I need to know it. So the journey is backward. That's why I call it seed. The journey is backward. We have to unlearn everything. And that unlearning doesn't mean that you have to forget. Just through yoga, through all meditation, person will come to know slowly, slowly that I am more than the thought. I am more than the emotion, what is going on. And slowly, slowly going back, we will come to touch our real self, which is presence, which is silence, which is ease. And there is no any chattering of the mind going on, or even the chattering going on. You are aware about it, that it is mind going on, but you are not identified with it. So
Mm.
basically, yoga has been said, yoga means to be becoming aware about the fluctuation of the life, fluctuation of the mind. I will repeat it again. Yoga means becoming aware about the fluctuation of the mind. And then by becoming aware about the fluctuation, person will establish into the presence. And that is our reality. That is our real self. That is the purpose of all kind of yoga, to bring you into your natural, real presence, how you are born. See, if we see in reality, a person's own mind is troubling the person.
Yeah.
These thoughts, these emotions, they always goes either up or either down. They fluctuate always. Happiness, sadness, love, hate. They are part of life. These fluctuations, they are part of life. But when we are lost into them, let's say somebody come to me and give me good words. Deep, you are so good. You are wow. You are amazing. And deep ego become very high. Yes, I am. So somebody said few words to me and I become really happy. Let's say the same person come again in the evening to me and start saying that whatever I was saying is just not right. You are not worth of that. You are wrong. You are bad, and give me all bad words. And I will go down sad. In yoga, we call it mean you are like a TV and your remote control is always in other people's hand.
Mm. Mm. Yeah. Again, yeah, so much resonates. Mm. It's the analogy with the remote control is very beautiful. I guess we will call it in psychology and what people throw around nowadays. It's like the triggers, right? We are triggered by everything and everyone, and we are, being quote unquote offended, and what lies underneath. So also something that now that we talk about that, I would love to explore a little bit the topic of samskaras and how they are formed and what that actually is, and to hear you share a little bit about that.
In India, whenever rain used to come, so children love to play in the rain, and they make small channels on the ground, and through that channels they bring the water to a certain hole. They love to play that game. But when the rain is not there, those channels are always there. And whenever rain comes, rain flow through those channels always. So let's say those channels are sanskaras. Once they are there, they direct your energy in a particular way, which we call unconscious way. Those sanskaras are given us, they are the part of the mind. Let's say call them habits, call them tendencies. They are from this birth also. In Indian system, we say they are coming from the previous birth also. I have read about it, and it is like that. Let's say in the childhood, I have formed a habit, and the habit is complaining. That is sanskara. I have a complaining sanskara right now. It will go through the whole life. So person, whatever they get, whatever the complaining will go on. And it will not allow them to go deeper or enjoy the life also. I'm going to tell you a simple story. So it has been said in India, so there was a guy, he was crying a lot that he lost, let's say, $5,000. He was crying, but the wife sitting nearby that was laughing. So the person become curious and wonder that your husband is crying that he lost $5,000. Why you are laughing? He said, you don't know. Actually, he was expecting the profit of 10,000. He got the profit 5,000. So he's crying for the 5,000 he's not getting. So he's not saying what he got. He's saying what he did not get. So now, how many people are carrying this sanskara of complaining? And it is unconscious. Now, to change it needs some conscious effort. Hatha Yoga, Raja Yoga, Jnana Yoga, asking question myself. So these sanskaras are so many. Sanskara, in India we call that when a desire takes place within me. A desire takes place. And now if somebody is creating a problem that my desire is not getting fulfilled, anger will take place. So these are the unconscious sanskaras. I want something, I'm not getting it, somebody is preventing me to get it, anger will come. And when the anger will come, then I want it so badly, the sanskara of greed will take place. When the sanskara of greed will take place, I will be more attached to that thing, so the attachment will take place. So this is a very ancient map of India. Desire, then anger, then greed, then attachment, and the anger. When they all together, they form a ego. And this is all sanskaras. Sanskaras from unconscious and sanskara from this conscious, which so-called conscious we call coming through personality also. So these sanskaras, I'm taking a simple sanskara because if I can work on it, actually all other sanskaras can be taken care very well. Just one sanskara, the habit of complaining. If I can sort out of that, I can deal with other very well. If that complaining attitude can be gone away, all other sanskara can be dealt very well. There are so many tendencies, habits.
And you are Yeah. And you are saying that we can get rid of the samskara of, for example, complaining by then pursuing one of the different paths or all of yoga, correct? Or
Yes. Any yoga, first we have to find out which is helping me more, which is more closer to me. Start with that. And then slowly, slowly enter into the journey. And it will be like that. Right now, let's see that there is 100% complaining mind and there is no joy, there is no bliss, there is no presence. Then with the practice, slowly, slowly, there will be less complaint, like like this complaint will less. There will be more joy, more presence, more bliss. With the practice, more complaining, less, more presence, more joy. So it will be coming like that, slowly, 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 slowly. When a different kind of presence is taking place of gratitude, of thankfulness, then same time helping others, same time working on myself, same time questioning myself also. Is my complaint is real? Then a different kind of presence will take place within me. And then that complaining attitude will be slowly, 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 slowly will go down. Because right now that complaining attitude is actually crushing all the joy, all the bliss, and all the gift which present in the life. I'm not able to see that because of this complaining. And when I work on it consciously, then slowly, slowly, picture changes. I'm not saying it's going to change right now. It need time, it need work, and it need to discipline the energy to enter into that kind of state.
hmm, yeah, absolutely. Now, out of personal experience and also out of experience with sharing some of those aspects with yoga with people and listening to a lot of people and reading a lot and educating myself, I came across basically, the same kind of obstacles and the same kind of roadblocks, which at the end were often a somatic on a somatic level, on a embodiment level. So I understood a lot, and I feel like a lot of people understand quite a lot about those mechanics of liberation, maybe, and freeing yourself. But then it comes to a stop whenever it comes to the embodiment. And I feel like and this is something that I wrote it down in capital letters in my notebook when preparing for the interview with you, that I really want to go into the place of embodiment with you and into the physical and into the aspect of me being incarnated in this body, in this incarnation, because how I receive your teachings and when I'm looking at the style of yoga you are teaching, I'm receiving a lot of embodiment and a lot of integration of the body. And I feel like this is very different and refreshing, and it resonates very much with me because I feel like there's a lot of transcending. There's a lot of like, I want to go higher, I want to transcend, I want to get out of the body so I can take care of, samskaras, and I can go straight into samadhi. But then the part of like being in the body is basically being skipped. It's not being taken care of and taken into account. And so I would really, really love to have you share a little bit about why it is, first of all, important to be embodied. What does that mean? And how also yoga can help us. And your way of teaching yoga is also so much focusing on the physical aspects of yoga. Why for you that is so important?
See, there is a simple thing. Uh, Whenever a emotion has taken place in the body, it need release. Let's say I'm giving just an example that I'm angry on someone. And when I'm angry on someone, that anger has taken place and I feel like to hit the person. But let's say the person is very powerful, I can't hit. So what I will do? I will suppress it. I'm not saying that a person has to go and hit. We are just using an example. So a person just suppress that anger. Now that anger is suppressed in the hand and in the arm and in the whole upper body area and lower body. So the anger is suppressed. So that suppressed anger will create a pain or any problem for this area. This is how emotion create trouble. And fear is related to the kidney also. Let's say a person have a lot of fear inside and the fear is getting stored. Wherever the fear is happening, that area is getting contracted. Let's say fear is happening in the belly. Whenever fear happened, the belly got contracted. A person is living in the fear, belly is all the time contracted. So all that organs will not function well. Tension will be there. And let's say the person, there is no fear situation right now, but the muscle has been contracted. It has become sanskara there. So even the person is not in fear, but the body will be in the fear situation.
Mm.
So yoga said, this is the time. Do some yoga posture, open the hips area, open the upper belly area, do some twist to release those muscles and muscle can come to its naturality. And the person can breathe well. Because when the stomach is tight, person cannot breathe from the diaphragm, person will always breathe from the chest. So releasing those muscle, opening those muscle, doing some twist, doing some hip opener, showing some backward bend, release that fear and person can breathe well and can create new sanskara for itself.
Mm.
That is the whole size of Hatha Yoga for every muscle, for every body part, for every joint.
Yeah. Yeah, it's so fascinating when you look at Western society and how we are all running into the gym and working out like maniacs and putting on muscles and stuff like that, how disconnected that is from what you are sharing. Like it's, and I've seen, from the yoga teacher trainings that you do, I've seen really you teaching basics like standing, just like the feet on the ground, like how do I put my feet on the ground? Where you would
Yes.
say like, why, yeah, I'm standing on the ground, like how should I what should I be doing wrong there? But there's like a lot of stuff that we can, do wrong, right, when standing.
Totally, totally idea. Actually, the feet, let's say the feet are placed like that, but you will see many people will put the feet weight inside. Many people will put the weight outside. So that create actually disturbance in the breath also. And sometimes person is standing on one feet more and other feet is not taking the weight. Some people feet on the stand on the toes more, not on the heels. They will go through a different kind of trouble inside the body and mind. There are people who stand more on the heels, but person has to stand on the heels and on the toes properly. And anyone can example. Let's say person bring the weight more on the toes, breath will be disturbed. Person bring the weight more on the heel, breath will be disturbed. When the breath is disturbed and it is from the chest, anxiety and stress will become part of life.
Mm.
So Hatha Yoga said, use the body in such a way, in a right way, so your breath will go to diaphragm all the time. The more your breath is on the diaphragm, mind will relax by itself. So it's a cultivating a new direction for the body and mind.
Yeah. Yeah, and everybody who is doing some sort of breath work, pranayama, knows that, whenever you connect to the breath, you immediately feel so much more present and better, essentially. And yeah, and this is all like literally just like basically taking into account where you are right now. So imagine where you can be when you really also learn to breathe in the yeah, like you say, in the diaphragm. I mean, it's such a big difference, isn't it?
Totally. And our breath is related to our emotion. Let's say a person is anxiety, in stress, in tension, or in rush or in hurry. That person will breathe shallow, that person will breathe fast, and the breath will be like very disturbing. A person who is on the beach, who is just relaxed or just having a morning walk, looking at the sun, the breath will be slow, steady, rhythmic, and deeper. So Yogi said, if a person can make the breath deeper to the diaphragm, slower, rhythmic, at ease, person can actually ease the emotion very easily. So negative emotion all bring the breath on the chest. All the positive emotion mostly bring the breath on the diaphragm. So when a person breathe from the diaphragm, breathe on a slower pace, breathe on a systematic way, I call it LSD breathing. LSD. Length, speed, and depth. If you can control these three things, length of the breath, speed of the breath, and depth of the breath, it's psychedelic. Person will live a different life.
Mm. So what is a good length? What is a good speed? What is a good depth of the breath?
I was just hoping this question from you right now. I know that you will ask this. That the length of the breath, I will say, if a person really want to work on it and want to see the effect, 6 breaths per minute. Mostly a person breathe 15 to 20 breaths a minute. But if a person can slow down 6 breaths per minute, if a person can enter into that phenomena, can really see the effect. So the speed is slower, 6 breaths per minute. Length, it has to go inside vertical, down, 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 down. And then depth, it has to touch the navel point, our navel point. The navel is the source of energy. 6 breaths per minute and there, and it should touch the navel. These three things are there. Just 10 minutes go like that, not even 10 minutes, 5 minutes, person feels such a calmness and ease in the mind. So one
Yeah, I
can
mean, like I mean, the navel point seems so far away, but it can. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
let's say more is person above the navel is not contact with the life force energy. More a person when inhale, go down, down, down and touch the navel, the life force will be present and mind will refresh easily.
Uh, yeah. Yeah, I mean, I find it very powerful also to do breath work or pranayama before going to meditation because I feel like it removes clutter from my mind. It makes it way easier to go into deeper states of meditation when having centered the breath and slowed it down. And yeah, it's really like this practice of like also inhaling the exhaling longer than the inhaling.
Yes,
Yeah.
totally. It can be done like, let's say 4 inhalation, 6, 7, or 8 exhalation. So whatever inhalation number we are taking, 2, 3, or 4 more in exhalation, but it should be should be in an easy way. The breath should not be forced in that.
Mm-hmm.
Like
Yeah.
comfort level has to maintain.
Yeah. Yeah. It's yeah. Like I see a big increase in my capabilities of breathing as well. So I started off at a whole different level, and now feel like I have like more capacity in actually also like you say, like I don't know. I feel like it goes deeper into my body when breathing now, intentionally, because
Yes.
yeah, otherwise I'm just like breathing up here all the time. or even below the lungs, like only here, like in a sort of like a fight or flight mode. It's like, oh my God, like I'm constantly running away from something.
It is always when a person is in the mind, the breath will be upper. When a person is in the present, breath will go deeper. Or Yogi said, just you bring the breath deeper and you will be present. That's why in yoga, asana first, then pranayama, and then meditation. This is the sequence. Asana, pranayama, then meditation. First do some body thing, then do some breathing. Easy to go into meditation.
Yeah, totally resonate with that. Yes, absolutely. That's also why when I was in a Zen monastery, like sitting for a very long time, I had to first get like the hips opening and like find a posture that is right and good for me, so I can then ease and the body is not in the way of getting into the deeper states of meditation, because I was simply distracted all the time, so much by the pain from coming from my hips. And now I'm doing more, I guess it's not like, yeah, it is asanas in the way of like that I'm opening my hips more, so I'm able to also sit upright when in meditation.
It is completely. And if we will see that through the time, through the age, through the emotion, which is negative, body contract. With the age, body contract. With the negative emotion, body contract. With the tension and stress, everything contract. And Hatha Yoga come, expand everything. Expand your body, expand your breath. Easy to take the flight.
So beautiful. Okay, Deep. So towards the end, I'm always asking two questions, and with you, I would exchange one. So, what the name of your yoga school and your channels is called Yoga New Vision, right? So, I would just like to ask you, what is the new vision of yoga for you?
See, new vision is this, my friend, that there is this ancient knowledge, this traditional knowledge, this Indian way of bringing the things forward. So this, I will call it, I will give it a name, Eastern way of living, which we have talked a lot about, working on the body, working on the breath, working on the mind. All of this knowledge is there. Hmm? And then right now the world is actually one, but there is a Western side. Eastern person have a different type of knowledge. Western person have different type of knowledge. Let's say the Eastern we have talked about. In the West, I admire a person a lot. His name is Matthews Alexandra. He has worked on the posture a lot, how a human posture should be in a very scientific way. Then I admire a person a lot. His name is Alexandra Luan. He has worked on the bioenergetic, how this bioenergetic actually affect a person. Hmm? Like bioenergetic mean emotion, how this emotional energy affect the body, and how by using the body, person can actually work on them. It's called bioenergetic. It's a yogic perspective, but there is a guy, Alexander Lon, has worked on it. Then there is a person named in the West, Buteyko. Buteyko has worked on the depth of the breath, and it is very similar to pranayama. It's all yogic knowledge coming in the West in scientific way. And there is another person I admire him a lot. He's the father of psychoanalysis, Sigmund Freud. Freud has actually talked a lot about things that how our mind behave and what is the way it behave. And he actually has put whole psychoanalysis on it. And that is also part of yoga, because we say yoga means cessation of mind. So in yoga, there is a lot of understanding of mind, which is coming very closer with the Freud also and giving solution also for the mind. And then there is a Eastern way and there is a Western way. Let's say that there is a Eastern and ancient knowledge and there is a Western science. Actually, I am mixing them together. for a new human being, for a 21st century human being, that how we can bring 21st century with this modern science together. And when they join hand to hand, it is a evidence-based growth. That person can see that how much work has happened in the East, and now how much work has happened in the West also. And it is all evidence-based growth. When they come together, it is like merging of the you can say an ancient wisdom with a Western modern science. So that is the new vision we are bringing forward. So there is a roots which are strong in the ancient tradition, and there is a flowering and there is a fruit which is coming through the Western science, and it's a completely whole new approach in the yogic way.
Ah, so beautiful, so beautiful. Beautiful vision, beautiful vision. And I guess like the second question will tie into that very nicely, because I wanted to ask you, what are you proud of?
On life, it is so beautiful. And when you're proud on the life which is there, I think that is a beautiful moment for me. Yes, I can say that I'm proud of what I'm doing. I'm proud of this. No, I feel like with my realities that I'm really proud of life, that life is amazing.
Beautiful. Thank you, Deep. Namaste. That was so beautiful. Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm very grateful to have spent time and space with you. And I would also like to open up the space if there's anything in the conversation we haven't touched on, you feel like still addressing, or you want to share or say. I just also now want to give some space. If there's something, you are more than welcome to share.
I will request everyone that have 10 or 15 minutes in a day to close the eyes and watch the feet, watch the knees, watch the hips, spine, and head into a relaxed state. Watch the body relaxing. And then go to the breath and watch the breath coming in and going in and relaxing the breath. Just watching the breath and it will relax. Just watching. And then give a few moments that look at the thought, what thought is going on right now, becoming aware about the thought. And then take a more step deeper, become aware about what emotion is going on right now. So becoming watchful to the body, body relax, becoming watchful to the breath, breath relax, becoming watchful to the thought, thought settle down. By watching the emotion without any yes, no idea, good and bad, just simply looking at the emotion, emotion settle down. And stay in that watchfulness for 5, 10, 15 minutes, how it feels good. It will change the life. It will give whatever good in the life exists there, and it will clear the path towards any direction a person feel like to go.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Maxi. Thank you for this opportunity, for being here, for creating this great path. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.